This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Behind the Mic, powered by REVOLT Podcast Network. I'm your host, Wise Grisette, RPN community manager and podcast enthusiast. As you all know, now if you have listened to the podcast for a long time, you already know what I'm about to say. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, and now follow us on Twitter at REVOLT Podcast Network or on Twitter at REVOLT Podcast. And of course, visit listen.revolt.tv to learn more about our amazing podcast library. Now, I say that I feel like I've been saying this so much, but on this episode, I have another friend here with me, someone who I have had the opportunity to know and work with this season of Carefree Black Girl Podcast. I am so proud to welcome my good friend, Leslie Latrice, to the pod. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Leslie. So Leslie is 1/4 of Carefree Black Girl Podcast. She is a part of the Carolina Girls. The podcast moved from Atlanta to Charlotte. And for season 10, we brought on your favorite veteran, one more time, your favorite veteran, Captain Hall. Captain Hall, welcome to the pod. Thank you so much for coming. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
She's in the building. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, as you already know, I am a veteran turned entrepreneur, but my people, the people who love me, know me as Les or Leslie Latrice. I am just an outgoing spirit, super empathetic. I love supporting, I love community. And overall, I just like being around people. That's what gives me energy. So I think that being able to communicate my authenticity, my experiences, and talk about what, makes me go and what keeps me going in this chaotic world that we live in is what I think makes me unique and just communicates who I am without a face. But outside that, I love living life. I love experiencing life's best experiences to the best it can be, right? Like, we're not here for the mediocrity. We're here for one time, not a long time. So I am just out there trying to find the best things to do and, bring my community and my audience along with me. I'm a content creator, so I've been doing that for 8 years. I started that when I joined the Army. So now, since leaving the Army in 2022, I have then taken this thing full time. So I create content full time, and my focus is on championing convenience, of course, prioritizing excellence, and celebrating life's wins, all wins, big or small. And I do that by encouraging my audience to just get out there, put themselves out there, be transparent and vulnerable. And I live by that too. I do my best to try to find my voice, especially after serving in the military, where sometimes we can feel like we can't say or do certain things. So while I'm trying and going on that journey to find my voice, I'm encouraging my audience, you, to find yours by just speaking your truth. And so that's a little bit about me.
Nice. So we shared a little bit about you behind the mic. This show is behind the mic, so thank you for doing that. Now, take us a little bit behind the mic when it comes to like content creation. You spoke about that, right? What is your day-to-day? Get ready with us today. Let us know what that looks like for you as a content creator.
So typically on the daily, I start my day off with prayer, like always thanking God for being here and allowing me to see another day. But then I get up, I go to the gym, try to get my life together with the health and wellness and all the things, take my vitamins, go to the gym, etc. And then that's when my day starts. After that, my day starts with catching up on emails, like communicating with brands or people that reach out, sometimes pitching to brands, and then reconnecting with social media because I am in that industry. So it's important to know like what's trending, what are people talking about, and what's important to my audience. So my number one focus is engagement. So I like to stay connected
Hmm.
with my audience, whether that be through posting or through my channel, through threads or other platforms, just allow them to have access to me and me to see, what they have going on in their lives. So that's one of the first things I do. And then I pick up on the content side of things. So whether that be editing content, which is probably wise, you can relate, right? Like editing content takes longer than even filming it. So like
Yeah,
that's
it
probably
does.
takes up a lot of my time is just editing videos that I create, whether that be skincare videos, beauty videos, experiences like me going to restaurants or going to something of interest like skating or just doing things throughout the city, traveling. So I'm using that time to edit, but also using that time to film for brands. A lot of people don't know is that I do also do user generated content, which is basically creating content for
Hmm.
brands that you just create for them that matches their audience, their aesthetic, and they leverage that on their platforms. So almost like a mini commercial, but with my face and my likeness. And
Yeah.
so I do a lot of that behind the scenes, and that's content that my brand or my audience or the community doesn't always see. And
Hmm.
then I also create social media promotions and my own organic content, which is the content I
Hmm.
love to create because I don't have to have any stipulations to how I do it, no restrictions, no nothing. I can do what I want to do and say what I want to say with, no, like I said, no restrictions or limitations to that.
I know you have a long career as a content creator. You said 8 years.
Yeah.
Do you ever go
Yeah.
back and watch some of those videos and kind of like see your journey?
I would say that what prompts me to go back is actually creating content like today. And most of the time
Mm.
it's for other brands. But I need to do a better job at like going back and being like, girl, you was really doing the daggone thing. Or girl, you really stepped it up. Like I've been there where I'm like, yes, you did that. And then I'm like, we started off in the bathroom with our little yellow lights and all the things that we can remember
Yeah.
of how we came up and just elevated. So yes, of course, I do go back, but I will say I need to go back more often, just to be grateful and give myself some grace. Like, girl, you did it like when no one was doing it. Cause I started
Hmm.
2016, and I would say no one, but like it was very rare, especially as
Much
a
less.
service member to be creating
Hmm.
content at that time. So being a Black woman serving in a male dominated field while trying to just express like what you got going on online, like
Hmm.
unheard of, really. So it's just good to be in a time where that is more like it's happening more. But yeah, I think like for the day to day thing, that's typically what my day consists of. And sometimes in throughout the week, I can attend events and communicate and talk to other creators. I might go live sometimes, like if I'm unboxing some
Hmm.
PR or other things. But the good thing about my day to day is that every day isn't the same, which is great because as a service
Hmm.
member, it was always the same. Well, not always the same. It's definitely had it
Yeah.
like, things that caught you off guard, but like typically you know what you're doing. You're getting up to go to physical training and you have your 9 to 5, if you're not deployed or doing other things. But, and, I think corporate people can relate to that too, like just the monotony of things. But I think as a creative and
Hmm.
as my own boss, I'm just glad I can, create my own schedule on a daily basis. So that's one of the major things
Yeah.
that I don't want to take for granted.
Hmm. And the reason why I asked you if you ever went back to really like watch some of your old videos, because I had a chance to go back and watch one of your old videos, and I ended up on a video where you had found out about your ancestry. So can you talk about the
Yeah.
excitement of finding out your ancestry and like sharing that with like your YouTube audience at the time?
Yes. Yes. So unfortunately, like, I'm from the typical Black household in two ways. One, where we are not very familiar with our ancestral past, mainly because we just
Hmm.
don't have that information. And then
Hmm.
two, because there are, it with most families, there are a lot of secrets, right? Things that family don't really want you to know because you might have that estranged brother that somebody wasn't supposed to know about or have, kids out of wedlock, things
Mm-hmm.
like that, money, whatever it is. So it's a lot of that within my family. So it was difficult for me to kind of get a clear picture or at least have an understanding. And honestly, I don't, think my family really knew. Like, no, that wasn't really
Yeah.
something we talked about as far as the actual ethnicity, nationality, like things
Mm-hmm.
like that. We just knew you look lighter, you look darker, you're black, those
Yeah.
things. But finding out my ancestry was great because now I have a sense of identity that I didn't have before. Like something that now I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I'm technically, Nigerian. And
Yeah.
so I have the ability to tap into what's truly me. Like if I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
get uh, acclimated to those cultural norms or those traditions, then I know that this is a part of me and I'm not just like latching on
Mm-hmm.
to
Right. Right.
another black culture or tribe or etc. So I thought it was absolutely amazing, especially doing African ancestry because it doesn't break
Mm-hmm.
it down by like percentage, but it tells you your highest percentage of African ancestry that you have, and then what tribe you may have belonged to or should belong to based off of your maternal DNA. So I thought that was really cool
Mm-hmm.
because tribe, baby, who knew, So
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I love both of them.
That's
And the fact
incredible,
that,
man.
just keep evolving, keep evolving, keep
Mm-hmm.
learning. So yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, definitely. Definitely. Okay, so before you move on to our game, what's
Okay.
one thing that you want people to know about you that they don't get from the podcast?
So I think, like I was talking about, being vulnerable, being transparent, something that you may not get a lot of, even from the podcast. We talked about it in one episode, but that's not something you get from me on the daily. Is that one, I really, really admire and love community building and just being around people that love me genuinely, wholeheartedly, and vice versa. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
stems from the fact that I don't have a very deep relationship or I have an estranged relationship with my mom. And so that's
Mm-hmm.
something that I think a lot of people can relate to, but a lot of people may not talk about or want to be vulnerable and like communicate their actual stories. And I can be that, I'm that person too, because I have not communicated, my story. I'm just getting to a point where I want to voice that is my
Right.
reality. So it's like just a process to get into the point where I can just lay it all out there and be bare and raw. But step
Mm-hmm.
progress. I'm always like, taking it step by step. Like I'm not gonna just lay it all out there for you, but whatever makes me feel ready and most comfortable. So I think that's one thing that people may not know about me, like specifically, but soon enough, they'll get the bigger picture or the full picture, I should
Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first off, thank you for sharing that. I feel like I know a lot more about you. And it's so interesting because like every interview, I'm like, yeah, I know this person. And then when I'm done, I'm like, ooh, man, I got a lot more to
Yeah.
learn about this person, man. So thank you so much again, Leslie, for that. But
Of
we about to dive
course.
into our game now. So you only get 30 seconds, right? We're going to play Rank It. You only get 30
Okay.
seconds. I feel like some of these Rank It's are right up your alley. So I feel like you
Okay.
got this. All right. You said it. You ready?
Okay.
All right, cool.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Rank these online shopping trends: fashion hauls, Amazon Prime, or TikTok Shop.
Amazon Prime, number one. No, and
Mm-hmm.
then what was the other ones? Fashion halls?
You had
No. Oh, TikTok shop and then fashion halls.
fashion hauls. Got you. Okay. Rank these social media challenges: the mannequin challenge, the ice bucket challenge, or the in my feelings challenge.
Dang, I don't remember in my feelings, so I'm gonna have to go with the mannequin challenge and then ice bucket and then my feelings.
Got you. Got you. All right. And that's it. That's it. You're all done.
Oh,
Just
I
like
did
that.
it. I felt sick.
Just like that. Just like that. Okay, so I feel like the mannequin challenge was like really, really, really fun. I loved what
Yeah,
the ice bucket challenge stood for, but you was not catching me
for
doing
sure.
that. And in my feelings
Yeah.
challenge was like a little Drake thing, but
I don't remember. But that's the thing. If it's not memorable, then I guess I rate it right.
3.
So.
Okay. Well, again, Leslie, thank you so much. Matter of fact, because we call you something different on the show. Big Les, tell the folks where they can find you on socials.
Okay. You can find me everywhere at Leslie Latrice on all platforms. And of course, catch me every Sunday on my YouTube channel at 3 p.m. I'm so glad I was able to do this. And if you don't remember anything about me, I'm a veteran turned entrepreneur. And your girl loves to live in life's best experiences. Period.
I love that closing. Leslie, thank you so much again. This is another episode of Behind the Mic, powered by REVOLT Podcast Network. Of course, you can find us again at REVOLT Podcast Network on Instagram and TikTok, and at REVOLT Podcast on Twitter. This is your boy Wise Grisette signing off, and I'll see you on another episode.
Lights are going up, excitement all around. It can only mean one thing. McRib is here. People throwing parties, ugly sweaters everywhere. Holiday swag lined up for the best time of the year. It can only mean one thing. McRib is here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. At participating McDonald's for a limited time only.